Hello everyone, my name is Abby Bliss White and welcome to my channel. Today it is Friday and we are going to do a full face Friday and we're going to be focusing on all Chanel makeup. This is also a little bit of a tribute to my mom. She passed away on this day last year and she is the reason why I love the Chanel brand so much. So what I thought I would do is create an everyday classic Chanel look. We're even going to pull out a red lipstick because that is classic Chanel and play with that. So if you want to see how I created this look, play around with a few different lipsticks and end with, of course, a Chanel fragrance, then let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we are doing a full face of Chanel today, having a little tribute to my Mama Bliss. She was an amazing woman and I feel like it's only appropriate to slap on a bunch of Chanel on the anniversary of her passing. So I am starting with Le Lift. And these are these little flash eye revitalizers. And you guys, I always love any of these kind of eye patches. I just find them to be wonderful, very soothing. And this is going to add a little bit of serum underneath my eyes. So they're just nice and hydrated. Maybe they're a little lifted. I don't know about that, but there's always just sort of a relaxing thing. And I will put those kind of eye patches on. I have several different brands that I love just before putting on makeup. Okay, for foundation, I'm actually going to be slightly bougie. I'm going to use the Le Beige Water Fresh tint. I'm going to kind of use that as a primer today. I'm feeling just a teeny bit dry. And then I'm going to use the Sublimage Le Tint. This is one of my favorites on top. So double dipping, you do not have to do that. I just really enjoy the Water Fresh tint and I feel like I want a little bit more hydration and coverage today. So I'm doubling up, but I'm just having a little fun. I call this magic in a bottle. It's just going to sort of hydrate and plump my skin. Then I'm going to use the Sublimage Le Tint, and I'm in the shade 32. That's what I match to most of the time in Chanel foundations. And I'm just going to take a little paddle brush here. And I love this stuff too, you guys. It's got a little bit of coverage. It's very hydrating. It feels super cooling on the skin. And I'm just going to paint a little bit of this on. This is actually my Giorgio Armani. I believe this is maybe the Maestro something brush. But I'm just going to kind of paint this on here. Put a little bit underneath my eyes. And to me, the Sublimage is just super pretty. I don't find it to be super dewy. I find it to be hydrating. It just kind of gives your skin a really natural, healthy glow. And it actually gives you a little bit of coverage too. If you are someone who has dry skin and kind of loves like a tinted kind of moisturizer, I think you would really like the Sublimage. It really makes my skin look super healthy and it feels so comfortable throughout the day. So that is definitely a fave. I'm trying to think of some funny mom stories to share with you. I think that my love for Chanel goes way back to my sweet 16 birthday. My mom took me to get a whole little Chanel makeover. They did the works. They did skincare. They did some very tasteful kind of makeup for my 16-year-old face. And it was just such a fun time. It was just me and my mom. She took me out to lunch. Then we got the makeup. And then she picked up the items that they used on my face. I just remember being just enthralled by the whole brand and the whole experience. So whenever I use Chanel, it always takes me back to my 16th birthday and how wonderful my mom was to like do something special for me like that. So I will always have a sweet spot for Chanel because of that. So today we're going to be using the CLAIR OBSCUR. You guys, this is a new palette to me, but I have been told for like so long from so many of you that I need this, and you guys were absolutely right. So the reason I held off on this guy was because I have the whole blurry series. Like, I love blurry gray, is my absolute favorite go-to. And I think this should be called blurry browns because this is just a perfect neutral palette. I love it. It's got a little bit of brown in it, camel, and it even has a touch of gray or taupey gray. So I am in love with this, and I'm so glad I picked it up. This is like your perfect everyday palette. This is a classic Chanel staple, and we are doing a classic Chanel look today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this little shade here, and we're going to create a little crease here. I'm using my Chanel. This is the Blender Shader brush. I love these little Chanel brushes, and I'm just going to dip right into this shade here, and we're just going to create a little bit of a crease, very pigmented. As I always say, don't worry, I'm going to blend, but I'm just going to go in and create just a little bit of a crease here. Just a nice little wash of color. Then we're going to go into this taupe shade here. It's a little bit lighter, and I'm going to just go in and I'm going to place that all over the lid. Then I'm going to go in with this shade here, kind of like a pretty kind of camel look here, and I'm switching over to my definer smudger brush, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that up in that brow bone. A little bit, and I could have placed this all over the lid first, just kind of as a base. I'm just going to go in here. You guys, this is such a fantastic quad. Then I'm going to go into this deep little chocolatey brown, and I'm going to use the other side of this little definer smudger brush, and I am going to go close to the lash line and smoke that shade out just a little bit. I'm actually going to take a little bit of this lighter brown here. We'll run a little bit of that underneath my lash line. On the bottom. So far, this is what I've created. You guys, this is just a perfect neutral palette. If you love neutrals and you love mattes, this is going to be your perfect go-to. Love, love, love it. And then I have the STYLO U. This one is in Blackwood. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wiggle that close to the base of my lashes just to create a little bit more definition to the eyes. Okay, we have smudged that little eyeliner, just made it a little bit of a smoky eye. Then I'm going to use the classic. This is the Chanel Volume de Chanel. Long time user of this mascara. I'm going to clean up my brows as well, and then we will use a little bit of my corrector underneath my eyes just to clean up anything, any kind of eyeliner or any kind of shadow that we kind of want to clean up. So I will do that and I'll be right back. Okay guys, super simple, kind of classic Chanel eye look. I am going to warm up my skin next, and I'm going to be using my BEIGES Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream. I love this stuff. I'm just going to use the brush that I used for my foundation, and I'm just going to use this, and we're going to warm the skin up. So growing up, you just always have your mom is your mom, but my mom was able to study at the Sorbonne in France before having us kids, and that really influenced her life a lot. So growing up, she was the one, this was also in the generation of Julia Childs, but she was a super fantastic cook, and made crepes and egg souffles, and I always think, I just thought that was normal. I thought everybody was eating those kind of foods, but she was just someone who was a super fun mom. She loved to live life to the fullest. She was a great entertainer. We would have super fun parties. She did like progressive dinners where everybody would bring a dish, and just so many fun memories of her. I'm going to take my rose corrector and I'm going to put that in. As I said, this is what I kind of use for my overall concealer. I'm going to take my ring fingers and I'm going to use the warmth of my fingers, and I'm going to just kind of take a minute to really kind of push this into the skin, kind of underneath the eyes, so it looks just a little less smudgy. My mom always liked to tease me and tell me that I loved anything new, improved, or imported. And guess what? I still do. I get so excited about new and she was a little bit better about sticking with things that were just tried and true. Okay, I am going to use the Poudre Universal. I have this in the shade 20. And I just use just a little bit of this. And I'm just going to take a teeny bit of this powder, and we'll just go ahead and kind of set everything mostly through the T-zone. And I just find this to be a really nice powder. I don't like to use a ton of it. It will sort of mattify. So I just use a teeny bit just to kind of set everything. My mom was a big believer in blush. So we are going to use my current favorite. You guys, I am in love with Rose Bronze. It is such a good color. So here is this. We're going to liven up my complexion a little bit. And just kind of creating that little flush of color on the cheeks. She was the type who would like pull out her lipstick and put little blush on my sisters and I, even as a young kid. As I've said, my mom was the type who did not leave the house without her full face of makeup. She always had her full face on, and she taught us to, you don't leave the house till you make your bed and put your face on. And it definitely stuck with me. Okay, then for highlighter, we're going to use the Powder Lumiere. This one is in Ivory Gold. Just really pretty. So this is going to give a little bit of highlight just on the tops of the cheeks. We're going all out today, guys. And then if you want, you could take a little bit of this and you could go up just a tad right in that brow bone. Lighten it up just a teeny bit. Just give it a little bit of sparkle. Okay, for a classic Chanel look, you usually either go for a red lip or a neutral. So I'm going to do two today. We're going to do one look with the red, and the one that I'm going to pull out is I'm going to use the Chanel Rouge Coco Flash in Attitude. And you guys, this is just a very pretty kind of classic, kind of bright red here. But because it's in the flash, it's going to be a little bit sheerer and a little bit glossier. So that tends to work just a little bit better on my smaller lips. So we'll put on Attitude. And this is Attitude. So this would be considered kind of one of the Chanel kind of classic red lips. I've got a couple other reds coming my way that are not really in my wheelhouse, but for a classic Chanel look, you need a red lip. Chanel's also known for just your perfect basic lip color too. So I'm going to take this one off and we'll do that lip color today. Kind of lips. I love this one. This is the Chanel Allure ink. This is a matte formula, but these are so comfortable. And this one is in Mauve Nude. So as you can imagine, this is right in my wheelhouse. Such a pretty color right here. This is Mauve Nude. And you guys, this is just such a unique formula. It is very thin on the lips, so it doesn't feel like anything. I do not find it to be drying. Yes, I often will add a gloss on top, but I love to have something that stains my lips because I'm not someone who tends to reapply lipstick throughout the day. So I will just come in. And as I said, it's just a really nice thin layer. The doe foot applicator is fantastic, so you can use kind of the tip of this and create a little bit of a line like outside the, if you want to use this, you can just create just a little bit of precision using that. And then I'll flip it around and fill it in. And this is the shade Mauve Nude in the Allure ink. Okay guys, we have got the classic Chanel face on. Then a sweet little present my husband purchased 1957 for me. He got me a little present to remind me of my mama. He is a good one. He actually has had to put up with me coming around and saying, smell this, all day long. You know, which one do you like better? So even though he is not a fragrance man, he really did like the smell 1957. So I thought that was just a really sweet gesture on his part. So I'm going to spray this guy. 1957 is sort of a sparkly, effervescent kind of Chanel fragrance. Definitely has that Chanel DNA, aldehydes and all, but I find this to be just a beautiful sort of white musk floral, and it truly is gorgeous. And the fact that my husband got it for me was extremely sweet on his part. Okay guys, this is my classic Chanel look. A little bit of a tribute to my mom. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I will be back with some more videos very soon.